everybody, my name is Max and welcome back to From the Depths. I still have a cold. I have a cold and I do not want to do our campaign with a cold because got a little bit of a sore throat and I don't think I could actually record for that long. So instead, and I realize it might not be as fun, but I thought I'd show off some of my oldest designs which I still have access to. And then some of the designs which I made for the campaign, but ended up not making it through the prototyping phase, so you guys never saw them. So let's start off with the oldest ship that well, at least the ship which I think is the oldest. I found this in one of my campaigns from 2018. That's not what I wanted to do. I have campaigns ranging all the way back to 2016, including one for my old YouTube channel 5 years ago now. God. I must be getting ancient. But this one is from 2018. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any vessels from anywhere older than this one here. So 2019 actually. That's the oldest one I could find. But these ones just didn't have anything in them. The campaign was just empty. So I assume that there might have been vessels, but they clearly were deleted over time. This is the, whatever did I call it, the Northumbria class frigate. The specific one is called HMS Resistance, and we got the British flag there. I think this is probably the first ship I ever made where I actually added this this little ring around it, like the little raised lip. I think what happened was I actually saw that in a I think it was a From the Depths building competition. Someone added like a raised lip and I was like, oh yeah, that looks cool. And so from then on, all of my ships had a little raised lip around it. I think we've definitely made some progress from this. Sorry if the recording keeps cutting out, it's because I've sneezed or something. I think we've definitely made some progress from this, and I think my actual fleet colors were a lot different when I made this, which is why it looks so weird. Anyway, moving on. This one was actually made for this campaign. This was going to be our heavy cruiser at one point, but clearly I decided against it. This is the Athena, if I believe. Athena class, yes. We've got cram cannons, obviously, and then a bunch of simple weapons. I made this right after the Mars class, so I think you can see a lot of the inspiration there, including pretty much the same superstructure tower sort of thing. But I ended up not using this because obviously I decided in the end that the cram cannons were just not effective enough, so we scrapped this and moved on to this one, which is the next one I made. This is the Empress class battlecruiser. There we go. It's got the same cram cannons as the Mars class, and it's got the same basic superstructure idea as that one on the side there, just obviously beefed up a little bit. And this is still when I was strapping simple weapons everywhere. Again, ended up scrapping this one before you guys saw it because the cram cannons were just not being very effective. You can always tell if I scrap something before I actually have finished prototyping because it won't be painted. If it's painted like this one is, it's because I was getting really close to calling it done, and then something disastrous happened and I scrapped it. So this was going to be our battlecruiser, but I moved on from that. It's also quite expensive, 463,000 materials. So moving on then, we've got this one, which is just called the Frigate Mark 1, 2021. This is, yeah, it's clearly quite old because I'm still using a lead ballast down here. And we've got an active radar. Oh, this must be, yeah, that's poking out from that side. Once again, cram cannons, sort of a really squished funnel, and then no superstructure. At this point in time I didn't add superstructures because I hated them. And then just another gun just like strapped to the back here for fun, I guess. Yeah, maybe not my best design. Moving on then, this is, I think it's called the Orbital Denial. It's supposed to be called the Orbital Denial. But it's obviously spelt wrong. from 2021 as well. So it's supposed to fly up to high range and then bombard enemy ships from extreme range. It's way too expensive for what it is. It runs not on PIDs but on ACBs, I think. I don't think there's a single PID in here. And it's got these huge RTGs. I think you can guess why I scrapped this one. But yeah, it was just not particularly good. Still, I didn't give up with the idea, and then we moved on to this one here, which actually does use PIDs. The way this one worked was that I would personally fly it up to a high altitude, and then I would have to like control the ship myself while the guns shot. This one is one that I made for this campaign. Well, actually, it's the previous campaign. It's not even. It's just called Prototype, and obviously it's unpainted as I was in the process of trying to make it look good. Sorry, I ended up sneezing again. Where was I? Right, this one runs on PIDs. I made it for this campaign, or it was actually the previous campaign, but, you know, not too long ago. And I scrapped it in the end because the turrets, the guns, were just not effective enough because I did not strap enough recoil absorbers to them. So every time this thing shot with its railguns, which would fire at 2,000 meters per second or something crazy, it would, yeah, lose control and fly off in a different direction. Alright, so the final design that I managed to dig up was this one. Again, no name, no nothing, but I think this was supposed to be a destroyer or something. It was supposed to be quite cheap, clearly. And I got quite far into actually making it. It's got an engine, and it's AI, yeah, it's got a lot of AI. And it's got some of these material containers, etc, etc. And I think I was just about to add some small missiles, and then clearly something happened. But this was an interesting trip down memory lane for me. This one specifically, because I believe this one, if you look in here, ammo storage, does it have... Yeah. I don't think it has any like large amounts of material storage because back when I made this, you know, material storage wasn't really like a thing. Like, you only really needed it for repairs and for nothing else. I like really wrapped the AI. I was paranoid. But yeah, no, this is definitely an interesting trip down memory lane for me, at least. I would do lots of things differently now, but it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see. Just where I have come from, I suppose. But I definitely wouldn't use that in the campaign. This one is the biggest disappointment for me because I think I put in quite a lot of work into this one and it ended up just not quite working out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least I hope you have laughed at my progress. On a side note, this and the bubble class were made at the same time. The Northumbria class frigate and the bubble class are from the same campaign. So yeah, I suppose they look similar in some ways. The bubble class is the only ship in this entire roster which still was actually being used. And it's the only ship which I should definitely actually upgrade now that I know how to use PIDs instead of... I think it runs on ACBs, but whatever. So yeah, thank you all very much, and I will see you all next time.